From a secretly removed card to a card so OP it needed an emergency nerf, here are Clash Royale card facts you missed. Number 1. I guarantee you've seen this emote before, and that's because it's a Clash Royale classic. What you probably didn't know was that way back in 2016, these emotes sounded very different. Just take a listen.
Hooray!
While it is unknown exactly why Supercell removed these sound effects, it was likely because they just wanted to keep one sound effect per emote. Number 2. While Barbarian Barrel is a card very commonly used in today's meta, did you know that once it used to be really bad? The Barbarian Barrel was released in 2018 and actually used to knock back cards. Wait, so then why was it so unpopular? Well, it cost 3 elixir, and while that might not seem like a lot, that 1 elixir made a really big difference. It also couldn't deal knockback to tanks, which kinda just made it a worse version of Log. Number 3. If you played back in 2016, you might have remembered how overpowered Expo used to be, because not only did it deal an extremely high amount of damage, it could also shoot air troops, and reach towers even further back. Now that's crazy. Expo has since gone through a plethora of nerfs, and while it's still a very viable option, it's nothing compared to what it once was.
Not gonna shoot the giant skeleton?
Number 4. The Bandit is a great troop to surprise and punish your opponent, but in 2018, this got a little bit out of hand, because if your bandit didn't directly walk over to the tower, it would glitch out and dash over, and now he's 3-crowned. This glitch has since been removed, and the bandit is now back to normal. Sorry to all the veterans I just gave PTSD. Number 5. Did you know there was a legendary card that was so bad, even Supercell called it trash? That's right, if you played back in the early stages of Clash Royale, you'd know that the Sparky was one of the worst legendaries you could obtain, being labeled as the trash can on wheels. Now that's harsh. The Sparky was so bad because of its speed, plus the fact that it could be countered with only 1 elixir. Yeah, Sparky sucks. Number 6. Legendaries used to be so rare that people would spend thousands of dollars just for a chance at getting a few. The best way to get legendaries back in 2016 were through super magical chests, which cost 3,700 gems, the equivalent of $37. Compare that to today, where you get multiple legendaries just for playing the game. And yeah, times have changed a lot. Number 7. Fire Spirits used to have 3 Fire Spirits, costing 2 elixir. Fire Spirits were also extremely versatile and could even counter Goblin Barrel all by themselves. Clash Royale later changed the Fire Spirit to a 1 elixir troop with only 1 Fire Spirit, which helped a lot in the purpose of cycle decks. However, many people preferred the old Fire Spirits and just desperately hope that one day we might see that famous trio again. Number 8. Imagine seeing this push coming at you. What should you do? The answer is you do nothing. You are completely and utterly screwed. This deck was the Lava Hound clone deck, which was played by getting a bunch of spawn units and cloning them, resulting in a basically unstoppable push. For months, this deck dominated Clash Royale before it was finally nerfed down. Even still, this deck caused a ton of pain during the time it was played. So veterans, I'm sure you definitely remember this one. Number 9. Ice Spirit used to freeze troops for a total of 1.5 seconds for just 1 elixir, making it the strongest defensive card in the game. I mean, this was way too good for 1 elixir. While Ice Spirit had its time of glory, Supercell nerfed it down to a 0.5 second freeze. However, even with this nerf, it's still as popular as ever, so you can only imagine how good it was back then. Number 10. If you play Graveyard, you've probably heard of Giant Graveyard, or even Bowler Graveyard, but did you know that in 2017, the most popular Graveyard combo was Ice Golem Graveyard? Yeah, players would play Ice Golem to tank for the Graveyard, and then kill the opponent's counters with spells. However, you never see this happening nowadays, as the Ice Golem Graveyard combo is way too easy to counter with new cards and balance changes. Number 11. In 2016, Clash Royale partnered up with an organization called Product Red, and this good cause ended up giving us the Red Tower skin, something that was only seen once in 2016 and never brought up again. This happened even before tower skins were introduced to the game, so this one is especially exclusive, and almost nobody owns it. Clash Royale also had a red loading screen in honor of their Project Red partnership. So good job, Supercell. Number 12. If you watched the Clash Royale trailers, you'd have seen one with the Ice Wizard, effortlessly freezing each opponent into an ice cube. This is kinda funny, considering in the real game, he'll literally die to a fireball. He didn't always die to a fireball though, as when he was first released, he was able to survive the fireball with just a few hit points left. Unfortunately, Supercell decided to nerf this poor card for no reason. I mean, come on guys, it's already bad enough. Number 13. Think the monk is OP? Well, introducing the 2017 Night Witch. The second players joined the new challenge, they instantly realized how stupidly overpowered this card was. I mean, this thing could take a tower all by itself, and it's a weak support troop. Clash Royale issued an emergency nerf for the Night Witch after they got thousands of complaints saying it was ruining the game. But this 2017 Night Witch variant will forever be remembered as Clash Royale's most overpowered card. Number 14. Speaking of overpowered cards in Clash Royale, did you know that the Royal Guards were so powerful that Supercell had to have downtime after the card was first released? This card could spawn a literal wall of guards for just 6 elixir. This 6 elixir was enough to stop any push, whether it be P.E.K.K.A., Golem, or 3 Musketeers. Supercell scheduled an emergency nerf for this card and increased the elixir amount to 8, without changing any of its stats. Still, this card is extremely annoying, so hey, Supercell, if you're listening, how about another nerf? Number 15. When first released, the magical chest used to be the best affordable chest in the game, having a pretty decent chance at a legendary and being nowhere as expensive as a super magical chest. When people opened magical chests, it felt like something magical, especially when you unlocked a legendary. Man, that one hits hard. Nowadays, it just kinda sucks. Number 16. The Golem in 2016 used to look like this, with a red collar around its neck and this custom explosion effect. It was pretty cool, especially compared to our lame Golem now with crystals. The Golem was also a lot better back then, having gone through some pretty bad nerfs throughout history. Number 17. Remember when the Magic Archer was extremely weak, not even being able to one-shot a Spear Goblin? Yeah, it was that bad. While the long shots and cool design compensated a little bit for this, Magic Archer was still something a lot of the community hated. However, as time went on and Supercell buffed the Magic Archer's damage, it went on to become one of the best and most loved cards to date. Talk about a change. Number 18. Log used to have an insane range, being able to roll 11.6 tiles, which allowed it to hit the tower even when placed in a lower tile. Log also used to knock back cards 1.5 tiles, instead of the 1 tile it pushes them back now. Log was so good that Supercell decided to nerf the life out of it multiple times. I mean, it doesn't do any crown damage, and it's still the most used card. Number 19. You used to get wooden chests once a day for free. While they normally weren't too good and only gave commons and rares, if you got super lucky, you could sometimes find a legendary from one. And the feeling of this, you couldn't beat it. Because legendaries didn't have the super long animation they have today, it felt like more of a jump scare than anything else. Supercell has since removed the wooden chest, and now we just have silver chests. Rest in peace, wooden chest. We loved you. Number 20. Skeletons used to spawn 4 skeletons in a square formation. These skeletons were named Larry, Barry, Harry, and Ledoux. Wait, why name him Ledoux? I mean, that's such a weird name. Anyway, Ledoux was later transferred to the Skeleton Army, giving it a total of 15 skeletons, nerfing skeletons and slightly buffing Skarmy. It's useless knowing about this, but hey, if you're a veteran, or just don't go outside, you probably already were aware of this. 21. Clash Royale has only ever removed one spell, the heal spell. After years of players asking for someone to heal towers or troops, the heal spell was Supercell's answer. So naturally, it was a really interesting concept, being commonly paired with the Inferno Dragon and troops that deal lots of damage. However, the heal spell never really found its place in the game, with a usage rate at a record low of 0% by the time of its removal. This was back in 2017, so if you're a new player, you're welcome for this fact. Number 22. Graveyard used to be OP. Instead of spawning skeletons from the outer rim of the graveyard like they do now, they used to randomly generate anywhere inside the circle. This made it so that many more skeletons would spawn closer to the tower, thus leading to much more damage. This made pushes like Ice Golem Graveyard so much more powerful. Graveyard was a menace back in 2016. Number 23. If you competed in leagues in the early years of Clash Royale, you probably unlocked what's called a draft chest. Now, a draft chest is probably the coolest looking chest Clash Royale has ever released, and probably one of the best too. You could unlock the ultimate draft chest, which gave you guaranteed legendaries, and had a newly introduced choice system that players loved. Number 24. When Mother Witch was first released, players first labeled it overpowered because it did so well against Graveyard. But if you later played against Mother Witch, you'd realize how easy it is to kill the hogs. Regardless, due to fear at the time, almost everyone put Fireball in the deck, making the Mother Witch, well, kinda useless, unless you're playing Fireball bait. Number 25. If you managed to win a tournament back in 2016, you could unlock the best chest of all time. Just look at that. 100,000 gold, thousands of cards. Is there anything else I even have to say? I mean, it took 2 weeks just to unlock. Did you know the record for the highest trophy count is over 20,000? 4 years ago, a level 11 player glitched his account to match with only low-level players, beating every single one. Nobody knows how or why this was done, but not a bad record. It's possible to play Clash Royale with only one card. If you clear your deck while in the training camp and add back only one card, you can win a game with just that one troop. Pretty cool. You cannot play Clash Royale in Vietnam. Like, it's literally illegal. This is Clash Royale's rarest emote. Pretty cool. The Ice Wizard's voice lines are spoken in Finnish. In 2016, Clash Royale added a pretty cool Easter egg. When balance changes took one skeleton away from the skeleton card, Supercell added one to Skarmy. Also, this skeleton's name was Ledoux. Yeah, I don't know either. Also, it's possible to tie in Clash Royale. If in overtime, and both sides take a tower at the exact same millisecond, the game can be announced a draw, which is an extremely rare occurrence. Clash Royale has an emote limit. You can use exactly 100 emotes in a single game before reaching the limit. I hope none of you have done this. Crossbow used to attack your own tower for an April Fool's joke. If you change your language to Japanese or French, the minion will translate to gargoyle. Electro Wizard actually has a crown tower damage stat, even though it's impossible. The mirror and elixir collector will never appear in a player's starting hand. There are colored names in Clash Royale. In 2016, if you put certain symbols in your name to trick Clash Royale's color recognition system, you could have any color in your name. Hovering over a card in-game shows basic stats. It is possible to play Clash Royale on a fridge. Yeah, this guy did it. If the leader of a clan is inactive for 35 days, ownership is given to the longest-standing co-leader. Lava Hound is the only card immune to all forms of knockback. Heal Spell is the only card to ever be removed from Clash Royale. The Flying Machine was first created in the Clash of Clans. You can see its supplies being teased here, and it's believed the Master Builder is the one inside. Super cool Easter egg. Goblin Gang shows 6 in the image, but only 5 in-game, a reference to the Goblin Gang originally having an extra spear goblin. Ice Golem has the lowest damage per second out of any card. The Miner is actually bald. Not sure why or how that is useful, and honestly, it makes sense. But hey, bald lives matter too. Clash Royale once had giant tombstones. In 2016, as an April Fool's update, Supercell gave YouTubers exclusive access to a private server, where, you guessed it, giant tombstones spawn giant skeletons. Now that's April Fool's done right. The Royale ghost is said to be the ghost of the king. Spooky. Buildings once used to have unlimited time spans. Before the game's soft launch, buildings used to have unlimited time, meaning they would never expire. Yeah, no thanks. Electro Spirit is the only card in Clash Royale to never have received any balance updates, and which is the card that has received the most balance updates. 5 million gold is the max amount of gold you can have on a Clash Royale account. Imagine being that rich. Clash Royale once had Brawl Stars characters. To celebrate the Brawl Stars launch, Clash Royale actually added 2 characters into the vault mode, being replacements for Magic Archer and Musketeer. The Skeleton Barrel was actually made playable before its official release, a few weeks before its intended launch. The Skeleton Barrel was leaked thanks to a bug within Mirror Mode. Maybe Supercell could also bug out and give us a creator code. No? Okay, moving on. If you challenge someone with a friendly battle on 1v1 mode, you can hold down and select your exact arena that you want to play in. The bandit's real name is Juno, revealed when set to the game's language to Japanese. Crossbow used to be able to target air troops. Yeah, in Clash's soft launch, Crossbow would target both ground and air troops, just like in Clash of Clans. If Crossbow wasn't annoying enough. Clash Royale once had a glitch when if cloned Sparky, while frozen, its clone would unfreeze. It's possible to kill the referee in touchdown if you use a spell fast enough. In the super early stages of Clash Royale's development, the King Tower actually had a wizard on it, with the surrounding archer towers taken straight from Clash of Clans. Man, imagine how OP Wizard Tower activation would be. The Prince used to be a rare card, while the Mini P.E.K.K.A. used to be epic. Later, they were switched. The Knight, Barbarian, Electro Wizard, and Lumberjack are all voiced by the same person. Electricity! Timber! If you're on top of the leaderboard, Clash Royale will actually send you a custom notification when another top player is searching for a match. I totally know this from personal experience. There are only 4 cards banned in all draft modes: Giant Skeleton, 3 Musketeers, Mirror, and Clone. Mega Knight is the only card with 3 different attack damages: Jump, Spawn, and Melee. In 2016, a glitch allowed you to place an Inferno Tower on the other side of the map. If you manage to fill up all available spaces to put a building on your side of the map, Clash freaks out and puts it in the opponent's corner. As you can imagine, this bug was shortly removed. If a graveyard is placed just before the end of a match, graves will spawn instead of skeletons. It was possible to see how many gems you've bought and got for free. If you changed your language to Japanese and clicked on the gems button, it would give you tons of information. You can make a total of 297,202,526,775 different decks. Tornado was originally going to be called Butterfly Swarm, distracting opponents with, well, butterflies. It's possible to play 4 cards at the same time. Clash Royale used to have quests, later being removed and replaced with card masteries. The cauldron on top of the furnace is actually from a Clash of Clans Halloween update. Could this be the origin of the fire spirits? The lumberjack created the log with a split rage spell. It's possible to get no epics in an epic chest. If you're in Arena 1 with no epics unlocked, you'll just get rares and common cards. Weird. When skipping wait times on chests, 1 gem accounts for 10 minutes. So, for maximum value, gem every 10 minutes. The chest you get after a game is based on the arena you play in, not what you're in. The Prince and Dark Prince switch their hands when they charge. The Golem can be pulled 180 degrees with a tornado and walk the wrong way for a few seconds. For a time, Royal Giants could shoot as far as a princess. I don't know why they thought that was okay. When Clash Royale first released, you had to pay gold to find a battle. The P.E.K.K.A. is female, and for some reason male in the Spanish version, but we'll just ignore that. Before Clash Royale's release, Cannon and Mortar used to cost 6 elixir each, later being nerfed by Supercell for making games too slow. The Musketeer used to cost 5 elixir, but the Wizard overshadowed her as he was much better able to do splash damage. Supercell reduced her cost to 4 elixir. If you listen closely, you can hear the Mini P.E.K.K.A. say pancakes when he's deployed. After the log was released, the Builder's Workshop arena had a small aesthetic change. Was the log being teased this whole time? If a card has a low usage rate, it will almost always get a buff on an incoming balance update. Trainer Cheddar has unlimited elixir, yet is still super easy to beat. The Mega Minion actually says cupcakes at spawn, if heard closely. 100% of people that use E-Barbs, Rage, and Freeze got left as a child. You can get an account permanently banned for account sharing. So, buddy, looks like no Clash Royale today. There was once a glitch when if you dragged a bomb tower and slid it back to your hand, it would still be there without the bomber. It's impossible to get a negative trophy count. Crown Tower arrows can curve to hit their target, as seen in this video. It's possible to activate King Tower with a cheap card, if your opponent plays Motor. It's also possible to activate King Tower against the Electro Wizard with just Tornado. The P.E.K.K.A.'s Playhouse Arena was named after the single-player map in Clash of Clans. Some of the clan flags are national flags of different countries. Battles used to give you no gold for winning games. Now that's cheap. If you place Battle Ram behind a hunter, it'll push the hunter towards the tower, dealing massive damage. The Super Magical Chest once had a keyhole, but now it doesn't. Weird. Do you think you're rich? Well, the most gems ever seen on an account is 2 million gems, which is so high that if you wanted to buy 2 million gems, you would have to spend nearly $15,000. How fast can you really win a Clash game? Millions of Clash Royale games are played every month, and the fastest win to ever be seen was done in 6 seconds. Everyone likes Magic Archer, so what's the limit? Well, earlier this year, a guy named Evan played over 100 Magic Archers in a single game, completely smashing the previous world record. What if I told you there's a Clash Royale replay that will crash your phone? This guy holds the record for the laggiest Clash Royale replay ever. I think I'll pass watching that one. There's a guy who's been donating troops to his clanmates every single day for 5 years straight. With over 750,000 donations, he wakes up in the middle of the night and skips sleep just to donate troops. Now that's some serious dedication. The world record for most spectators was broken 5 years ago when this YouTuber had 1 million spectators in a game. Well, it was a hacked game, but hey, counts as a record to me. You suck at Clash Royale. Like literally. This guy got 6,511 trophies as a level 1 account, meaning the max level card he could have had was a level 9 legendary, and his King Towers were level 1. One mistake would literally get him 3 crowned, and yet he still has more trophies than me. I quit. Do you like Inferno Dragons? Well, then this one's for you, with a whopping 234 dragons in one game. Now that's an attack I don't think anyone can stop. And from number 12 onwards, these records only get even more insane and hard to beat, leading us to the world's fastest 3 crown, which happened in just 14 seconds, thanks to Goblin Barrels, Clone, Freeze, and Rage. Yeah, good luck trying to beat that. Back in 2016, clan chests used to be unlocked by your clan getting 250 crowns in games. So, this clan dropped trophies and speed ran this chest in just under 13 minutes, completely destroying the previous record. Clan Wars have since been updated, making this record literally impossible to beat. Everyone's ran into a level 14 Mega Knight when you have level 11 and level 12 cards. But have you seen a fully maxed out deck at 0 trophies? How is that even possible? Well, this YouTuber called OJ did exactly that. Spending $1,000 and opening the Arena 1 shop chests, he managed to max the starter deck without playing a single game, securing the record for the most overleveled deck in game history. I don't even think my bank account can beat that. The longest Clash Royale game is probably not what you think. Usually, Clash games go for 3 minutes plus overtime. However, every once in a while, games glitch and last way longer than they should, the longest ever recorded being just over 1 hour and 18 minutes. But according to this random guy on Reddit, the record could potentially be infinite, given 1 in several septillion odds. So, happy hunting, guys! We've all seen the leaderboards. 7,000, 8,000 trophies, but did you know someone's account got glitched, meaning they'd only match with low-level players? Well, this happened to Lizard King in 2019, meaning he got to over 20,000 trophies, technically breaking the world record for the most trophies ever in Clash Royale. Why can't this happen to me? Now, things are heating up. What's your highest win streak? 10, 15, 20? Well, beat 112 and you'll have yourself the world record. Yeah, this guy literally won over 100 games without losing. I mean, even with a new account, this is ridiculous. So, unless you're a pro, or this guy, I don't think you'll be beating this record. A player called CRA managed to break the record for the most elixir leaked in a single game, with an insane 1,449 elixir leaked. Through using E-golems, infinite elixir mode, and a lot of skeletons, he beat the previous record by 60 elixir. It's actually super interesting to watch how he did it. A very impressive and very creative record. Now, it's time for the top 5 Clash Royale world records, so buckle up. Ever made a new account and wanted to join a clan, but needed to get to level 3? Well, you should call RJ, because he did this in a little over 3 minutes. I don't even want to know how many accounts he made to get this record. You can't beat getting a legendary, but what else can't you beat? Subscribing? No, silly. Ben Tim's 15 in a row, back-to-back legendary chest opening. Can't believe you didn't get that. Yeah, you heard right. 15 legendaries back to back. This record was set 5 years ago, and still, no one has even come close to beating it. And with a 1 in a 2 million chance of it happening, I don't think anyone will be beating this anytime soon. Now, this next record is so hard, only one person has ever fully completed it. Nobody else has had the time or the patience to even attempt it. This record is a Clash Royale full game speedrun, from 0 to 5,000 trophies, all in a single sitting. Set by YouTuber Cashman, it took him 9 hours and 14 minutes to beat Clash Royale. It took me 3 months to do that. Yeah, that's not something I'm gonna attempt anytime soon. What is Clash Royale's luckiest chest? Well, let me show you. In 2016, you used to get free chests, and back in the day, getting a legendary in one of these was the luckiest chest you could open. However, recently we've seen an even luckier chest. A chest so lucky that it had a 1 in several million chance of happening. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Clash Royale's luckiest chest. 2 legendaries and a champion you can strike? Yeah, you gotta be pretty lucky to beat that. And for Clash Royale's most insane record, introducing 150 wins in a global tournament, done by Dank Gannon in 2019. This record is pretty much completely unbeatable. You're a good player if you get 10 wins, let alone 15 times that. Gannon himself said it was a mixture of extreme luck and perfect gameplay, something that's almost impossible to replicate with the quality of today's players. Did you know that playing Clash Royale in Vietnam will literally get your account banned? Now, Clash Royale is a game that was given a global release, meaning it could be played anywhere in the world. However, in 2019, this changed when Supercell officially discontinued all of their games in Vietnam, meaning that nobody in Vietnam is able to play any Supercell games. Number 2, inappropriate names have always been a theme in Clash Royale. So, would it surprise you that R-rated names will result in a permanent ban of your account? Now, Supercell doesn't care if you have a maxed account or if you're an ultimate champion. If they see you with an appropriate name, they will ban you. Same goes for clan names, as inappropriately named clans have been known to be shut down as well, with Supercell sometimes banning the leader or anyone who might have named it. Looking at you, co-leaders. Number 3, have you ever met your friend in ladder? This might be a really cool experience, as long as you don't tell them to let you win. Because if Supercell discovers you had your friend give you the win, it would technically count as trophy farming, which is a direct violation of Clash Royale's terms of service. So it's best not to ask your friends to help you out here, and just to play it out like a normal game. Number 4, Supercell support is usually really friendly, and is happy to help you with any problems. But there's a twist. Supercell support is actually real people? Huh, who would have guessed? Meaning, wasting their time could be a very bad idea. Trolling and/or wasting the time of Supercell support can end up in a temporary ban. Or, even worse, if you decide to start trash-talking them or being rude, it can even lead to a permanent ban. So yeah, treat them with respect. Number 5. You ever wanted to get gems in Clash Royale? Well, let's just say in 2017, lots of people wanted to get these gems too. So much so, in fact, that they tried using tons of free gem generators and ended up wasting hours of time. Now, while using free gem generators won't get you banned, buying gems will. Third-party sites used to offer gems for a very cheap price, which many people would end up buying. However, this was a huge scam, as once these gems were purchased on the account, after a few days, they would turn negative. Why? Well, the cheap gems bought on these players' accounts weren't really bought. They were paid for through stolen credit cards, which would eventually get refunded, thus refunding the gem purchase, thus leading to negative gems. And yeah, pretty much every person who did this got banned. So, RIP. Number 6. Now this one may seem obvious, but DDoSing and/or hacking other players will very easily get you banned. There was one player who basically slowed everyone's internet down to then beat them in the game, making their cards unable to place. This person managed to get to the number 1 spot in the Clash Royale leaderboards before getting banned permanently, never to return to the game. Hope I never run into that guy. Number 7. If you were banned from another Supercell game, basically any of the games on screen, Supercell might also ban your Clash Royale account, even if it was on Boom Beach. Because you've already violated their terms of service, they wouldn't really have a choice. While Supercell does have a lot of rules, all of them are pretty straightforward. So as long as you make sure not to use exploits on any of their other games, you should be perfectly fine. Number 8. Using Elite Barbarians and Mega Knight too much will certainly get you banned. I mean, hey, just take a look at this ban message right here. I'm 100% serious, guys. Stop using Mega Knight against me. Number 9. While being toxic to your clan members and insulting them in-game can lead to a temporary ban, Clash Royale is naturally a pretty toxic game, with it being extremely frustrating when you end up losing, especially to this. Insulting people in-game is only going to end up with your account being disabled, and if done multiple times, can even get you permanently banned. So please, let's just be kind to each other, guys. Number 10. Let's say you really suck at Clash Royale, so you decide to get your friend to play for you by giving him your Supercell ID, and he goes on to win you some games. Well, this can actually get you banned, as this is a violation of Supercell's terms of service, called account pushing. Account pushing is where you get another person to play for you to get you higher in trophies or rank. For real, don't do this, because what's the fun in getting banned? Number 11. Using mods or hacked clients is a surefire way of securing the ban reward. Mods include anything that's been changed from the original game, whether it be a princess shooting 10 rockets at the other tower, or literally putting Goku in Clash Royale. I've seen this somewhere before. Number 12. Pretending to be someone else can actually get you banned. Supercell probably won't notice, or even care, if you impersonate your clan leader in an attempt to get promoted, or impersonate a Supercell employee and say some ridiculous stuff. People are allowed to report you, and if you get reviewed, you'll likely be banned by Supercell within a week. So yeah, while it's okay to use your favorite Clash Royale channel's name, just don't go around trying to use it to your advantage, because that will probably get you banned. Number 13. Using bots to win games. Clash Royale has been known to have rumors of using bots to keep the game alive. While these theories have many times been disproven, there's still a lot of belief that maybe your next opponent isn't actually a real person. But hackers can actually create botted accounts and use them to farm wins for competitive gain. These hackers will 100% of the time end up banned though, because Clash Royale has systems in place to help detect suspicious activities such as these. Number 14. If you're below 13 years old and playing Supercell games, don't tell anyone. Supercell's terms of service specify that you need to be over 13 years old in order to play the games they release. And while this is very similar to companies like YouTube, Discord, and OnlyFans, yeah, I'm looking at you, little Jimmy, people can just end up lying about their age. So if you're below 13, just keep quiet and good luck. Number 15. You can't buy or sell accounts on Clash Royale, and as sneaky as you might think you are, you probably won't get away with it. As if Supercell in any way detects you've been selling or buying accounts on Clash Royale, you'll likely get permanently banned. permanently. Number 16. Have you ever been co-leader in a clan? Let's say you donate a lot, play your clan wars, and are an overall nice guy to be around. Your clan leader may promote you to co-leader. And what do then? You kick everyone out of the clan before the clan leader can kick you. The penalty of this is a permanent ban. It's no joke sabotaging a perfectly good clan, and if you do this, you probably deserve what's coming to you. Number 17. If you constantly leave 2v2 battles right after joining, you are ruining your teammates' playing experience and deserve to be banned. While Supercell hasn't confirmed whether or not this alone will directly lead to a ban, this is cutting across one of Clash Royale's terms of service, which is you ruining someone else's playing session. So, if you don't want to be a jerk and also don't want to risk getting banned, play your 2v2 matches and don't leave your opponents alone. Number 18. Let's say your friend is playing Clash Royale, and you take their phone and throw it on the ground. Then you pour gasoline over it, blast it with a flamethrower, and throw it into a volcano. After that, they report you for sabotaging their game. You can actually get banned, though there's really no proof you did anything. And while this example is a far stretch, if your friend were somehow able to prove you really ruined their playing experience, technically Supercell is obliged to ban you. So guys, no going around with flamethrowers and lighting people's phones on fire. Supercell is very much against it. Number 19. Going to Supercell's headquarters in person and asking the developers to manually ban you is an expensive but foolproof way to get your account banned. YouTuber KFC traveled all the way to Finland to make this happen. Oh, what a nice mustache. Either way, his account did get banned, so this one does actually work. Number 20. Did you know using the game to commercially advertise can actually get you banned? This means any sort of advertisement for a website, product, or even a YouTube channel would likely end up in Supercell removing you off the platform. While this might sound unlikely, in 2017, many players were advertising free gem websites and ended up getting reported and later banned. While these players were advertising a scam site, Supercell still doesn't want you using any kinds of advertising. And while sending your Instagram and email is completely fine, remember, never to advertise anything on Clash Royale. When Night Witch was first released, it spawned 2 bats every 5 seconds, and upon death, spawned 4 new bats, making it the most powerful card in the game up to date. Supercell quickly took note of this and nerfed it into oblivion. While Night Witch used to be able to kill a tower by itself, it's now kinda bad. Number 2. Freeze used to look like a clone spell, and was much more powerful. And by more powerful, I mean it used to freeze troops for a total of 5 seconds, which would give a max balloon enough time to completely kill the tower. Number 3. Fire spirits used to spawn in a trio of 3, and cost exactly 2 elixir. Isn't that cute? These fire spirits used to be very unpopular, but they still had a bunch of possible tricks, like completely countering a goblin barrel, or completely killing a minion horde, or combining in weird pushes. Number 4. Golem used to have a chain around its neck, and no crystals compared to the version we have now. It also had a custom explosion effect which dealt damage when splitting into 2. Number 5. You see this heal spirit? Forget it. Late in 2016, this was the heal spell. The heal spell was much better at healing things, had better range, but it did cost 1 more elixir. Fast forward to 2022, and now the only healing card we have is the heal spirit, which is still considered worse than the heal spell. Number 6. Free wooden chests used to be in the game. If you look at the top of this image, wooden chests used to be given out every few hours. Same with crown chests, which you could unlock upon destroying 10 crowns. Number 7. In 2015, Clash Royale was actually named Scroll. Scroll was the earliest version of Clash Royale, with 2 wizards for king towers, crystal buildings as towers, and a grassy river as the arena. There was also an elixir bar, storing up to 100 elixir, compared to the 6, 4, and 3 elixir costs these same troops have today. Number 8. Clan Wars used to look like this. Rewards were earned through the clan chest, which had 10 tiers, every tier making the chest slightly better until you had a really, really good chest. This chest, however, was still not guaranteed a legendary card. Fast forward to now. Clan Wars look like this, and the clan chests look like this. Number 9. Mortar used to cost 6 elixir, and Musketeer used to cost 5. Mortar was changed to 4 elixir because it made games way too slow, while Musketeer was changed to 4 elixir because it was worse value than the Wizard. Number 10. Skeletons used to have 4 skeletons spawn in a squarish form. Supercell eventually got rid of one of them and added them to the skeleton army. Even after this nerf, skeletons are still one of the most used cards, even today. Number 11. You see this deck? Yeah. This deck was the most popular deck in 2016 and had the highest win rate at 64.6%. The most popular deck now is Hog Rider 2.6. consisting mainly of Cannon, Musketeer, Hog Rider, and Fireball, which is somewhat similar to the 2016 version of this deck. Number 12. Legendary cards used to be maxed at level 5, with Epics maxed out at level 8, Rares at level 11, and Commons at level 13. Supercell changed all card levels to max out at 14 due to frustration from new incoming players. Number 13. eBarbs players used to have dads before they all left shortly after. Speaking of which, eBarbs used to be a lot more powerful, hitting every 1.5 seconds opposed to the now every 1.7 seconds, which doesn't seem like a huge change, but if you look at this video, it really was. Number 14. King Towers used to be maxed at level 12, until Supercell quickly added level 13, and in 2021, decided to add level 14. Number 15. Miner used to actually deal damage, before the continuous nerfs Supercell eventually decided to deploy, for no reason. There's a joke now that Miner can heal towers, but it seems like every day we're getting a little bit closer to that becoming a reality. Number 16. Many card designs used to look a lot different, many of which had an old school look to them. Clash Royale took all of these old designs and replaced them with new, brighter, and clearer designs. Weirdly, now Clash is starting to replace those with ultra new designs. I don't really know what to think about that. Number 17. Ice Spirit used to freeze troops for 1.5 seconds, compared to the 0.5 seconds it freezes them now. Again, though this may seem like a minimal change, it actually made the Ice Spirit much worse. Number 18. You see this? Yeah, this was Legendary Arena, but it was at 3,800 trophies compared to the 5,000 it's at now. While it used to be many trophies lower, it was still much harder to reach, as players were a lot more competitive back then. Number 19. Emotes used to be limited to the selection of these. Now, 6 years later, there's over 200 emotes to choose from in a battle. Number 20. Expo used to hit its own tower, and nobody knows why, but on April Fools, Supercell added this. Number 21. If you and your opponent hadn't taken a tower, the game would end in a draw. Overtime was not a thing back then, and the game didn't count down who had more health points. Number 22. Battles used to cost gold, but this was later changed when Supercell received numerous complaints from players labeling it pay to win. Literally. Number 23. Royal Giant used to shoot nearly as far as a princess, bypassing any kind of defensive unit. This is now fixed, as Inferno Tower and Tesla can fully counter it. Kinda. Number 24. Clash Royale's logo used to look like this, and now it looks like this. While the old one is nostalgic, the new one does look a lot better. Number 25. Valkyrie Prince was one of the most popular combos, but Valkyrie Prince now is never used because of so many things being able to counter them. For example, P.E.K.K.A. counters Valkyrie Prince, Ice Golem skeletons counter Valkyrie Prince, Giant Skeleton counters Valkyrie Prince, and so on and so forth. Number 26. The Super Magical Chest was the most expensive and desired chest until poof! It vanished and was replaced by the legendary King's Chest, which was a huge upgrade. Number 27. Balloon was so bad in 2016 that Supercell had to increase the damage by 105% and the bomb radius by 50% just to make it viable. Number 28. 3 Musketeers cost 10 elixir and were eventually buffed so that they'd cost 9 elixir for all 3. While as 10 elixir they were bad, the eventual buff to 9 elixir made 3 Musketeers extremely popular in decks such as these. A bunch of changes eventually just made them unplayable, and look at the usage right now. Number 29. Expo originally attacked air troops, which made it even more annoying than it is now. Because Expo could attack air troops at launch, it's possible that back then, Expo could have been a legitimate counter to Lava Loon decks, as Expo would have been able to counter air troops from a far distance. Number 30. In 2016, Mir gave troops an extra level for a cost of 1 extra elixir. While Mir was fun to use in casual matches, it never really found its place in meta. Bam! Oh god. Mir became a lot more popular once the 2-level gap was released and brought level 16 cards to the arena. This was again changed like 2 weeks ago, so now Mir only gives 1 extra level. The same as 2016. Number 31. Tournament chests in 2016 could literally max your account. While chests now are alright, and the designs look quite good, as shown here, chests back in 2016 were much better. And I mean much, much better. Let's see the contents of this chest. I'll fast forward. Yeah, that's a lot. Number 32. The 0 elixir barrel shown here was in the game for one special event before being mysteriously removed. This 0 elixir barrel is presumed to have been replaced by the 2 elixir barbarian barrel, which has a pretty good win rate, but isn't nearly as cool. Number 33. Clash Royale loading screens progressed throughout the years in exactly this order. If you take a look at the first loading screen from 2016 and compare it with the new one here, you can tell just how many new cards were added into the game. It's crazy, really. Number 34. In 2016, the Clash Royale item shop looked like this. You can immediately tell cards back then cost less gold, with prices at $220 and $1,000 opposed to the now $800, $2,000, $3,000, and $40,000 prices that we have today. You can even buy cards with gems now, or you can use my creator code. Number 35. In 2016, the only cards that could cross the water were literally just Flying Troops and Hog Rider. Now, in 2022, the Healer, Prince, Dark Prince, Royal Hogs, Mega Knight, and countless other flying troops can all do the same. Ugh. Number 36. The Elixir Collector used to be a pretty good defensive mechanism. People used to actually use it to defend pushes and tank damage. When Supercell nerfed Elixir Collector's health points twice, it became the back of the tower, hope you don't fireball, weakling unit it is now. Number 37. Clash Royale in 2016 used to be extremely popular, and it came out of seemingly nowhere, taking its spot as one of the most popular mobile games in history. The game is still decently popular, but definitely nowhere near it once was. Anyone who's ever used a miner knows that once underground, nothing can really touch it. Well, in 2016, the log could push an underground miner back for half a second, which was pretty useless, but cool nonetheless. Number 2. Archers can fully counter a literal P.E.K.K.A. Placement has to be very accurate, being exactly 4.5 tiles from the bridge. Anything else and you'll want to throw your phone. Number 3. Did you know you can clone a building? Yeah. There was once a glitch where you could clone a goblin drill if you had precise enough timing. Now that's overpowered. Number 4. The card with the highest win rate is actually the Giant, at a win rate of 62.2%. The Giant is used in a load of different decks, the most successful one being this weird Night Witch variant. The reason this deck works so well is because this Giant Night Witch combination is great for destroying, while the Bowler and Inferno Tower are amazing for defense. Number 5. You can activate your King Tower against a Bowler. While instances are really rare, I did find an example on Reddit. I tried recreating the video and found Bowler shoots a lot farther than you'd actually expect it to, reaching 7.5 tiles. You can activate your tower if the Bowler is in this position in the arena. Number 6. The Ice Wizard is kind of a ripoff from Supercell. When shown in the trailer, it looked like an unstoppable freeze killer, but in game, Ice Wizard wasn't too bad. At least up until the balance change when Fireball could just kill it. I mean, compare the trailer with reality. Disappointing, Supercell. Number 7. The Elixir Golem is a pretty annoying card to deal with, but originally, it was supposed to look like this. This card was meant to be a legendary, and had a cryptic description saying, spend all your elixir to determine the stats based on the amount, while the Elixir Golem game description goes, splits into 2 Elixir Golemites when destroyed. The Elixir Golem's description makes much more sense. Number 8. You could activate the King Tower by logging a bomb tower, but this was fixed recently and no longer has any effect. Number 9. The Goblin Hut is taken from the huts in Clash of Clans. If you take a direct image of the two and compare them, they look extremely similar, the only difference being the horns on Clash Royale's version. Furnace is also taken from Clash of Clans, the pot looking nearly identical in both games. Number 10. An Elixir Collector can fully counter an Electro Giant if placed in this position. Realistically, you won't be able to do this in game because your opponent is going to have a spell or something, so don't try this at home. Number 11. The Battle Healer can fly over the river, which makes her an actual angel. Number 12. The Goblin Gang was released as a unit, spawning 3 goblins and 3 spear goblins. Separately, this would cost 4 elixir, but the Goblin Gang only cost 3. This made the Goblin Gang almost too powerful, which led to a nerf removing one of the spear goblins. Supercell recently added the spear goblin back, though, because of the low usage rate of the Goblin Gang. Safe to say, more people are going to be using it now. Number 13. P.E.K.K.A. can't 3-crown a tower by itself, even if left undefended. The same applies for Electro Giant, Giant, Elite Barbarians, and honestly, any other card. The only chance a single card will score a 3-crown by itself is if it's overleveled or accompanied with a spell, such as Rage or Freeze. Number 14. Barbarian Barrel went through 13 balance changes, so many to the point that the Barbarian Barrel actually used to knock back cards. It cost 3 elixir opposed to the now 2 elixir barrel, and it couldn't knock back the Prince or Dark Prince, or any tanks actually. Still, the Barbarian Barrel has gradually gotten more and more popular, and is used in a variety of top players' decks. Now that's a redemption story. Number 15. While the Barbarian Barrel went through 11 balance changes, the Witch had a whopping 16, making it the most transformed card in Clash Royale's history. The Witch went through so many changes because it was either too bad or too good. If you compare the Witch in both videos, you could tell one has a massive power difference from the other. There was a period when Witch combined with Elixir Golem would make an almost unstoppable combo. After a load of changes though, the Witch finally became a balanced card, though it is still very unpopular with professionals, at a 2% usage rate in grand challenges. Number 16. A new card, the Barbarian Launcher, was recently added. This common card costs 5 Elixir, is a defensive building, and shoots boulders that deal area damage. It very closely resembles the Mortar, as it can't shoot cards close to it. Also, they look pretty identical. Number 17. The Super Mini P.E.K.K.A. is the only card that can one-shot anything. While the Super Mini P.E.K.K.A. is an exclusive card, it is most definitely the most powerful out of any card that's ever been brought into the game. In fact, it's so powerful that it deals infinite damage and turns things into pancakes. Number 18. The Barbarian Hut and Heal Spirit have the lowest usage rate in the games, at 0%. Wait, how is that even possible? It's likely more than 0 people use these cards, just that the majority of popular decks don't include them. They're very unpopular. Number 19. The Balloon Skeleton Barrel Rage combo creates the fastest push possible. If you decide to clone this combo, it can quickly 3-crown your opponent. This deck is most commonly used by Brad, who managed to beat one of the best players in the game using it. Brad's actually a really good player. Number 20. Mirror technically costs only 1 Elixir, making it one of the cheapest cards in Clash Royale. The lowest cost for spending a mirror, though, is 2, because it costs 1 more than the troop it's mirroring. This also means you can spend 10 Elixir at once, as when you mirror the 3 Musketeers, it costs 10 Elixir, making your entire bar disappear. Number 21. Firecracker moves back 1.5 tiles during each shot she makes, and because of this, she can fully counter a full HP P.E.K.K.A. Firecracker has the same amount of HP as an archer, so she technically is just an archer with a big gun. The Firecracker shoots some fiery substance at its opponents, but against fast troops, she'll actually miss on all of her shots. At least the archers don't miss. Number 22. Mini P.E.K.K.A., Valkyrie, Giant Skeleton, Night Witch, and Royal Giant have gotten their designs changed like this. Why is Clash Royale changing the card design? Nobody knows, but this isn't the first time they've done this. In 2016, Clash Royale changed the designs of Bomber, Arrows, Fireball, and many more. It's likely that across the next year, Clash Royale will have changed every single card design. Number 23. Clash Royale just teased a new champion and new legendary, meaning a 4th champion is on its way into the game. While nobody knows what these new cards are going to be, some speculate that it might be an Electro Titan, a more powerful Electro Giant, or maybe it could be something else. Number 24. When barbarians fight elite barbarians, who wins? Well, barbarians completely destroy them. Still, elites still cost 1 more elixir than barbarians, which is weird considering barbarians are better at defending and harder to kill. That is, unless you throw a fireball. That's why. Number 25. The Inferno Tower has 3 stages where it increasingly deals more damage. A maxed Inferno Tower goes from dealing 140 damage a second on stage 1, to dealing 525 damage on stage 2, to dealing 2,810 damage a second on stage 3. The Inferno Dragon also has 3 stages, but deals a maximum amount of 1,400 damage a second, which is still insane. Both the Inferno Tower and Inferno Dragon take 5 seconds to deal their maximum amount of damage, so when fighting them, zap it at the 3 to 4 second mark, resetting the flare right before your troops get completely infernoed. Number 26. The first troop to ever get added to Clash Royale were the Archers. From the beginning to the end of 2016, Clash Royale went from having 42 cards to having a total of 70 cards, meaning Clash Royale added a total of 28 cards in just 1 year. Eventually, the amount of cards Clash Royale added became smaller and smaller, until now, when we only get a few cards per year max. Number 27. Royal Hogs deal much more damage than a Hog Rider if left untouched. While Royal Hogs take nearly the full tower, Hog Rider takes around half the tower only. Number 28. A Heal Spirit heals at a rate of 400 health points a second, while it deals 110 damage to troops that aren't on its same side. Regardless of this, as mentioned earlier, almost nobody uses Heal Spirit. Rest in peace. Number 29. Wall breakers can deal up to 1,038 damage if both blow up at the tower. This is the same damage 2 rockets would deal, and for only 2 elixir. Because wall breakers are so fast, the combo of log and wall breakers can't be stopped by a log or a zap, or even a tornado. Number 30. The lumberjack and the log are said to have a special relationship, with the description of the lumberjack being, he chops trees by day and hunts the log by night. When you log a lumberjack though, nothing happens. I wish Supercell would make it so that the lumberjack broke the log in half, or something. Hey, Supercell, if you see this, please do that. Number 31. If you ever see someone place a goblin cage, placing a lightning is actually a pretty good play. The lightning strikes not only the tower, but the goblin cage and the goblin brawler as well. That's a triple kill. Number 32. The goblin hut spawns 11 spear goblins, and because each spear goblin deals 81 damage, a goblin hut can deal 891 damage, which is really annoying to deal with. Because of this, whenever you see a goblin hut, the best move is to probably fireball it. Number 33. The two cards with the most hit points are Golem and Lava Hound. The Golem has nearly 7,000 hit points, while the Lava Hound has over 6,000 if you count the pups, but Inferno Tower kills each of them within 10 seconds. Number 34. A rocket takes 3 seconds to reach a tower, while a fireball takes around 2 seconds, making it a much faster option. If you're near the end of the game, make sure to place the rocket before the clock hits 3 seconds, because otherwise, it just won't land. Number 35. Zap can completely kill a skeleton army if placed at the right time. While normally most zaps miss killing all skeletons, if placed as soon as the skeleton army spawns, it'll get all of them, and it's stupidly satisfying. Number 36. People consider Mega Knight the scariest card in Clash Royale, but if a bandit is placed in this position, it can completely counter the Mega Knight while even surviving. In fact, cards like Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Prince can pretty easily counter the Mega Knight too. Hell, if you want, you can get a free King Tower activation. Just get some skill, guys.
Normally, Inferno Towers are used to defend troops with high hit points that would on their own be nearly impossible to kill. Inferno Towers could only be placed on your side of the arena, and therefore used only as a defensive mechanism. However, this all changed sometime in 2016, when a player uncovered a game-changing exploit while playing Clash Royale one afternoon. He found out that if you cover all the spaces on your side of the arena with buildings and try placing an Inferno Tower, it would appear right next to the opponent's tower, causing a devastating amount of damage to the enemy. This bug went on to become a huge exploit players would actively use to, let's just say, melt down their opponents. The next big glitch was found later that year, when several players started noticing that if you time your cards exactly right and place an Ice Golem next to an Expo, the Expo takes no damage, leaving the opponent completely defenseless. While this glitch was later patched by Supercell, it temporarily allowed a huge exploit for Expo players to use to their advantage. As it turned out, Expo wasn't the only card this invulnerability glitch worked on. A player by the name of Galba recorded an instance where a mini P.E.K.K.A. was left undamaged by a rocket, and as you can see, it was right behind an Ice Golem. While Clash Royale glitches can give players a huge advantage in matches, sometimes they have been proven to backfire. The best example of this was shown on April 1st, 2016, when Expos started targeting the players' own towers. Seeing as this was patched the day after, many people suspect this may not have really been a glitch and just an April Fool's prank. Either way, it came as a huge surprise to millions of unsuspecting users. However, this wasn't the only time offensive buildings proved to be a disadvantage. Just 2 weeks later, a weird glitch was spotted where an Expo and mortar placed near the bridge remained frozen after taking down nearby troops instead of targeting the opponent's towers. This glitch left these unlucky players with a huge setback in the competitive match. Though 2017 and 2018 had their fair share of glitches, none were devastating enough to be considered as game-breaking as the ones seen in more recent years. Here's a quick reel we put together of some of the best glitches from these two lively years. Let's fast forward to 2019. You would think most bugs would be patched by now, but this only marked the start of some of Clash Royale's biggest glitches, including the one card and infinite skeleton exploits. As more game modes were introduced, a significant exploit was spotted in the touchdown mode. If you watch this clip carefully, you'll notice that right as the player gets a point, the opponent's goblin giant splits into 2 goblins right into the player's touchdown area. As the next round starts, the goblins stay in the game and give the user an instant touchdown. Totally unfair. Almost a month later, in February, an accidental glitch found its way into the spotlight when it was discovered that cards would get stuck behind the elixir pumps and end up stacking up. This led to players creating enormous pushes, the most popular option being Golem Night Witch. As you could guess, it was a pretty automatic 3 crown. On to 2020. Not everyone's favourite year, but definitely a good time for players that enjoy 2v2 matches. One of of the biggest game-breaking glitches was uncovered in September of that year. It allowed players to leave all of their 8 slots empty, allowing for some really abusive card spamming. The most popular one involved just spamming healers. Since they kept healing themselves, it was pretty much unstoppable. If you thought that those were broken, stick around till you see the glitches spotted in 2021, as this was the year for game-breaking glitches. One of the more widespread bugs was the Fisherman Freeze glitch, which still has not been fixed yet. The glitch causes the player's Fisherman card to completely freeze after defeating enemy troops, instead of moving forward towards the enemy towers. No one likes E-barbs, but this next glitch, which appeared sometime between March and April of 2021, was definitely some abnormal card behavior. After defeating a Mega Knight, one of the E-barbs chose to completely leave his friend and go to the opposite side of the arena to cross the bridge. Or maybe his friend was just lame. One of the more controversial glitches that occurred in 2021 was the colored name glitch, where players were able to change their name color to anything they'd like. Though this feature seemed to be a fun and lively cosmetic to players, Supercell decided to remove it later in the year. We have no idea why it was removed, but it's probably because Supercell never intended on adding it in the first place, and it might have also been a little confusing to find players with all the letters in the front. Have you ever thought of having completely invisible troops? Well, in December of 2021, a player noticed that cloning an ice golem and battle ram when placed right behind the river glitched the cloned troops and turned them invisible to the opponent, allowing for an unexpected surprise attack on the enemy. Moving on. We all know that Skami is an ideal choice for any solid deck, but what if you could have infinite skeletons? In this 2v2 match, players were able to trap 2 witches behind the king towers. Cloning the troops allowed for a huge skeleton army on both sides of the arena, becoming an almost guaranteed win condition. This next glitch isn't nearly as useful, but still raised quite a few eyebrows. When this player tries to place spear goblins behind the king tower, the text that appears calls them bats. Next, a player discovered that by placing a bunch of buildings across your arena and then placing Royale recruits instantly teleports them to the end of the opponent's arena, giving you an instant touchdown point. Now that's what I call an easy win. Which brings us onto the final year, 2022. 2022's glitches have been more comedic from Supercell's side, though maybe this is intentional. It definitely makes for some funny moments in-game. In this clip, we notice a lone skeleton stuck dancing behind the king towers. Not sure what he's doing, but hopefully he's having fun. It's February 2022, and we have another deadly drop glitch. All this Clash Royale player wanted to do was drop a skeleton army to quickly kill the opponent's spear goblins. Weirdly enough, instead of a skeleton, a barbarian barrel drops instead. Luckily for them, a barb barrel was effective at destroying the enemy troops. But this glitch could be devastating to a player if they were trying to counter, say, a P.E.K.K.A. instead of just goblins. Most recently, when Supercell added a rework for the Prince and Dark Prince, enabling them to jump, an unintended and hilarious glitch was born. A video of 2 Dark Princes chasing each other across the river.
The Executioner's overpowered axe. Now, the Executioner used to be pretty overpowered, and not just for his awesome looking game design. It was his axe. And even though when compared they look the exact same, his old axe dealt a lot more damage. So much in fact that if you compare the old version with the one now, you'd notice a pretty significant difference. Number 2. If you play the 2v2 mode, you'd realize how annoying it is to deal with abandoning teammates. The main reason this is so annoying is because first off, you'll almost certainly start losing the game, but also because you have no real way to tell if your teammate is actually offline or just trolling you. Back in 2017, Supercell allowed you to see if your teammate was on the game or not by giving a distinct warning message saying your teammate has left the match. While this sign may be annoying to deal with, at least it gives a way for you to know what's going on. Number 3. Everyone loves the current Clash Royale King emotes, but did you know that Supercell removed all of the original King sound variations? These old emotes made very different sounds, going in this order.
Hooray! No!
While these emotes may sound vastly different now, if you're an OG, you'll still be able to appreciate them. Number 4. Clan Wars used to look like this, and they weren't really clan wars. Instead, they were a group activity where the clan members would collectively gain crowns to win the crown chest. Now, the crown chest ranged in 10 different levels, where the first level crown chest was pretty bad, while the max level crown chest was really good. You needed a total of 1,600 crowns to max a clan chest, so it definitely wasn't too easy. Clash Royale removed this version of Clan Wars and changed it into this new one though. At least, the chests are still good. Number 5. Expo used to target flying troops, which must have made it an amazing defense unit. Supercell removed Expo hitting flying cards though, as it made the Expo way too powerful. In fact, Expo was so powerful that it took another few nerfs to finally get Expo into a balanced state. Expo can now only target the ground, which also makes it an unfavorable matchup against Lava Hound decks. Number 6. Clash Royale gems have been that one thing you need to spend money to earn, and this is because you literally can't get gems aside from small amounts in chests, and if you get lucky on Trophy Road. So when Clash Royale added the Gem Rush, which was just basically Gold Rush except for gems, people were very excited. I mean, finally, I could get some more gems. But unfortunately, Supercell removed it shortly after without any explanation, and nobody else seems to have an explanation either. However, there have been some rumors out there speculating that it might have devalued gems, making people less likely to buy them. Classic Supercell. Number 7. In 2017, Clash Royale added chests as part of the Epic Quests update. Quests were really cool. I mean, you could earn a whole super magical chest within about a week of grinding. So, when Supercell decided to remove quests for basically no reason, the Clash Royale community came to Supercell headquarters and protested for weeks. Just kidding. But everyone was really annoyed with Supercell's response, as a few days after removing quests, they stated, "Clash Quest didn't reach the bar we were aiming for. Rest in peace, quests. We loved you." Number 8. You used to be able to see people's King Tower level in their profile, as well as a literal image of what their tower looked like. Talk about unnecessary. Around a year later, they removed it. And now it looks something like this. Wait, why are there 50 tower levels? Number 9. You used to be able to buy just one card in the item shop. Ah yes, one skeleton please. And you had another option, which was to buy the entire stock in the item shop. This is very different to now, as now there's no option to buy single cards, only options to buy many. In fact, now they even charge you gems to buy some of the cards you like, which is very much not worth it. Number 10. Can you imagine winning a game and earning 250,000 gold for it? For the 2017 Clash Royale League Challenge, your reward for winning 20 games was 250,000 gold, which was never brought back again, as in 2019, the maximum gold amount was decreased to 100,000. Supercell again never really mentioned why they decreased the gold amount, but it might be because it's just way too nerve-wracking to have 250,000 gold worth of stakes on your game. Okay, relax. Everything is gonna be okay. Oh, come on! Number 11. The Super Mini P.E.K.K.A. deals 160,000 damage and can one-shot any card in existence. Same with the Super Lava Hound and Super Witch, never to come back into the game. These cards were only kept in game a few days during special events, and the reason they were removed is kind of obvious. All 3 of these cards were just way too overpowered. I mean, if these ever made their way into ladder, they would just dominate the game. Number 12. Supercell used to give players wooden chests every 12 hours, and these wooden chests had a 0.11% chance of dropping a legendary card. Basically, you'd get one legendary card for every 1,000 free wooden chests you opened, which made a legendary from a free chest the memory of a lifetime. Supercell soon realized how bad and useless free chests were for players though, and instantly removed them from the game. I do hope that someday they bring back the wooden chest though. It was something really special. Number 13. If you've played Clash of Clans, you'd know that each battle costs gold to load in. Thank God Clash Royale doesn't have any of that nonsense. Oh, wait. Clash Royale actually used to cost gold to play, which not only was literally pay to win, but also meant that if you had no gold, you couldn't play the game. Okay, so if I can't pay gems, how do I earn gold? Yeah, big thanks for removing this one, Supercell. Number 14. Clash Royale used to have the heal spell, which could heal troops no matter where they were in the arena. This combo worked best on the Inferno Dragon and Minion Horde, but the heal spell never really found its place in the meta. In fact, it kind of ended up in the dumpster, because after a few months, Supercell removed it from the game, making it the first card Supercell got rid of in Clash Royale history. Number 15. Cards used to max out at different levels? Commons at level 13, rares at 11, epics at 8, and legendaries at level 5? This used to look a lot more stylish, as it was something only Clash Royale players could really understand. And besides, level 5 legendaries seem a lot better than level 14 legendaries. Am I right? Clash Royale changed all max levels to level 14, because it made it easier for new players to enter into the game. And to be fair, that does make sense. Number 16. Before leagues, there used to be legend trophies. These legend trophies would count all the trophies you earned above 3,000 trophies and put them in your profile. Even though these legend trophies were later rewarded, the legend trophies themselves kinda did nothing. But hey, they sure did look cool. But what looked even cooler was the chest you could obtain by gaining lots of legend trophies. Because if you got to the top of ladder, you could unlock an ultimate draft chest, which gave you 2 legendaries. Amazing! Number 17. Clash Royale used to have 3 fire spirits in game, which cost 2 elixir and was honestly really worth it. This bundle of fun could counter Goblin Barrel all by itself, and even though it seemed really good for its value, it was unfortunately removed and added back in as just a single fire spirit, completely changing its role in the game. I personally think the old fire spirits were better. Number 18. In early 2016, Clash Royale added an exclusive feature called Elixir Overcharge. This system was very complicated, but basically it allowed you to hold up to 10.9 elixir, so that when you placed a card, you'd immediately get an extra elixir, a feature that didn't really make any sense. Supercell eventually caught on, and they removed it from the game because it wasn't visible enough. Number 19. Maxed cards allowed you to store a few extra cards in the slot. This literally made no sense, as there was no way you could use those extra cards except for donations. And with legendaries, which gave you 1 extra slot, you couldn't even donate them. People started suspecting this was a tease for a potential trading concept, which was not in the game. And as it turns out, they were right. Clash Royale introduced trading a few years after these extra slots were released, but unfortunately, they removed the extra slots entirely and replaced the card cosmetic with star levels. Nice. Number 20. Clash Royale used to have achievements, similar to how they are in Clash of Clans. You basically just completed achievements for gems and XP. This was quickly replaced by quests, which were later removed, as you know. While achievements were cool, the only real achievement now is to click on the next video. Subscribe!